Alright guys, so we are going to go over characteristics of quadratics. So your essential question is going to be, how do you find the axis of symmetry, the vertex, and the zeros of a parabola? You know, the parabola from 8.1 is just the shape that the quadratic makes when you graph it. So make sure you're pausing these videos to take down your notes, just as if I was there with you guys. A zero is an x value that makes a function zero. So when we say this makes the function zero, it's any x value you plug in and y comes out as zero. Okay, so make sure you get that all written down. Okay, so finding zeros from graphs. So once again, it was where the y value was 0. And that's going to be your x-intercepts. So make sure you note finding zeros of quadratic functions from graphs. It's a fancy way of saying find the x-intercepts. So we'll notice that this first example crosses the x-axis twice, so it has 2 zeros. This one is going to be -1, 0, and this one is going to be 2, 0. So every time, since we're finding zeros, their x-intercepts always have a y value of 0. So how many x-intercepts does this second graph have? It's only going to have 1. And it's all about where this parabola just crosses the x-axis. And that x-intercept is at 1, 0. I would definitely recommend making a note or a picture in your notes of each of these, since something different is going to happen in each one. For example, this has 2 x-intercepts. This has 1 x-intercept, and you'll already notice that this never touches this x-axis, so it has 0 x-intercepts. So 3 situations that can happen with the quadratic function. On this one, you would say no zeros, which is the same as saying no x-intercepts. Zeros and x-intercepts are interchangeable when we are talking about quadratics. Here you'll see the directions say check your answer. It's just showing that if you plug in this x value, it will give you 0. So I'll just do this first one with you guys. So this is your x, this is your y. So we're going to plug x in for this function. So -1 squared is 1, -1 subtracted becomes 1 plus sign, minus 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 2 is 0. So what happened is that your y comes out 0, and that's just meeting that definition again, that if it is in fact a 0, it's an x-intercept. If we check it and we plug in that x value, we're going to get 0 from the function. So you're not required to check all of these, it's just making sure you understand that that is what is happening. So once again, make sure you've made this note here. You've noted your x-intercepts on a picture in your notes so that you know what that is. How many x-intercepts will this function have? It has no x-intercepts or no zeros. Sometimes this happens. Okay. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line that cuts the parabola into two symmetrical halves. The axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. So definitely take a moment to pause this video because it's about to stop and write all of this information down.